Hey guys, you're listening to the Inspirational Power Hour. Now listen, I am so super excited today to talk to an amazing woman. She is a speaker, she is an author, she is an actress. We have seen her star in the critically acclaimed movie War Room, and I'm talking about none other than Miss Priscilla Shirer. Hey Priscilla, how are you?
Hi, Chandra. I'm so good. Are you doing okay?
I am fabulous, ma'am. Listen, thank you so much for talking with us today. I'm so super excited to share this book with our listeners. You have this this trilogy of fictional writing specifically for teens. But, you do so much, Priscilla. In addition to doing that, again, I said you're a speaker, you're an actress, a writer. How do you balance everything that God has given you? How do you balance it all?
And it's an ongoing matter of prayer that I don't think any of us have arrived at the solution for that. It's constantly bringing our lives into alignment underneath the priorities that God has set for us in a particular season. They switch from season to season. But for me, I know what my priorities are right now. I'm raising these 3 little Prince Warriors in my own house, and I don't want to water everybody else's garden and neglect these 3 boys that the Lord has given me, has entrusted to me for this season of their life. So my marriage, and then motherhood, and then ministry. And so I got to tell you that what I pray for myself and for the women that I have the privilege in particular to minister to in our ministry is I ask the Lord for a no anointing. And what I mean by that is we got to have the grace upon us to say no without fear that an opportunity will pass us by and we may never get it again, or that guilt that we have if we're not always busy and always on the run and accepting every invitation that comes our way. We got to have enough strength and resolve of character and integrity and diligence toward the priorities in this season of our life to say no and to realize that with every no we say, in honoring of God's priorities for this season of our life, with every no, we've just said yes to something else. We've left white space on our calendar. We've given ourselves margin so that we can breathe, so that we can cultivate our relationships that matter most to us in our life. And so, honestly, that's been the only key I know right now to staying balanced in this season of our life to the best that my husband and I can as we seek to honor God, is just saying no a whole lot, but then realizing that all of those no's to all those invitations or all those opportunities really do give us an opportunity to say yes to our kids, yes to each other, and yes to the opportunities that most honor God in this season of our life.
All right, Miss Priscilla, I have to ask you this real quick. After the amazing success that you all had with War Room, that movie blessed the world over. I'm telling you, it was such a blessing. Can we possibly see some of the same things coming from this trilogy that you're releasing right now?
You know what? It would be amazing to me and a wonder if the Lord did something on film with these books. I would love it, and I'm open to it. We'll just have to sort of wait and see. If you would have told me that they would have been books, I would have said, what? So who knows what the Lord might do from here. We're just kind of along for the ride and the adventure of this. I've been so encouraged at how many young people, thousands upon tens of thousands, have already read through book 1 and are reading through book 2 now and are enjoying it. So if a production company came along that found it intriguing enough to put on screen, that would definitely be something that we'd want to consider and hope that it could reach as many people as possible.
So, Miss Priscilla, what inspired you to write this series of fictional books?
Well, it honestly came from interaction with my children. I'm a mother of 3 boys, and I also homeschool my boys, and so I'm always looking for good reading materials that will capture their attention long enough to keep them riveted, but also elevate their level of their reading skill and language comprehension. So I was just interested in that mix. And I was just trying to figure that out, looking for materials for them. And I realized that there is actually a little bit of a gap for young readers, particularly boys, but in general, about 9 through 13, there's a gap there. And I wanted to try to fill that gap for my own children. And the result of that was the Prince Warrior series. So I wanted to create a story that was action-filled, adventure-filled, suspense-filled enough to have tales that would rivet them and would cause them to want to continue to turn one page after the other, but at the same time would create organic opportunities for conversations about spiritual things. So tucked within every chapter of this story and every tale, there was an opportunity for a kid to ask a question to a parent or to highlight something to a parent and then hopefully stir organic conversation that leads to the truth of this series, which is that we are all capable of standing up victoriously against the enemy because we've been given the armor of God. You know what? My own boys, are my worst critics. They've read, or the best critics, I should say, because they've read all of the stories long before they were published. And they told me the parts that I needed to kind of clean up just a little bit or get a little bit stronger so that it would keep their attention. So I've had lots of co-writers on this with my 3 sons, but they enjoyed them. I loved reading the stories to them, as I was writing them over the past 6 years. Honestly, it's been sort of a 6-year project in its entirety. And reading those little sections to them before bed at night and watching their eyes widen in wonder at the thought of some of the imaginative elements of this story, but then also the conversations we got to have afterwards. That was really gratifying as a mom, just to have those conversations about spiritual things. I've heard great feedback from my hardest critics, and then from people who have emailed, or letters that I get now from kids who are reading the book and they cannot wait for the next book in the trilogy. It's just amazing to know that I'm able to fill a little bit of a gap there for young readers, again, particularly boys, although the book is very much for girls as well, but to fill a little bit of the gap that's there, but also help to create another opportunity for parents to talk to their kids about a very real and important topic that can sometimes be sticky to get into with your kids, spiritual warfare.
All right, guys, once again, I want to thank Miss Prescilla Shirer for taking time and talking with us today about her latest release, The Prince Warriors. This is a trilogy. She's just released the 2nd book in this trilogy, which is a set of Christian fiction writings for children, specifically for teens. So for our parents out there that are looking for some great Christian writings for your young people, please make sure that you check this out. The 3rd book is set to be released in February, and we hope Miss Priscilla will come back and share with us about that. Now listen, guys, stick around. We have much more gospel music on the way, so make sure that you stay right here.
It's the inspirational,